My name is Mark Polton. I'm a real estate investor in the greater Charlotte, North Carolina area. I'm what you would call a no frills real estate investor. If you're looking for someone who's got a big fancy shiny car in the background or nice studio office or someone who's trying to charge you $19.95 a month for a subscription to their newsletter, I'm not that guy. Go find a different channel. So it's tax time. We're, you know, it's also beginning of the year, which means it's time to update our personal financial statement. If you don't have a personal financial statement, I'll link a Excel spreadsheet below that you can use. It's the one I use. Um, Robert Kiyosaki says that you know your report card in high school is how everybody judged you and graded you. Once you get out of high school, it's your personal financial statement. It's how you keep score on how you're doing in life. If you don't have a personal financial statement, you need to make one. It's very important that you know where your money is, where your debt is, and you need to know how much you're worth. If your net worth is negative, you need to work on that. Most people's, I think, is negative. So, one of the things you list on your personal financial statement is all your debts. And I've been trying to think, what's the bottom line of this business? Buy and hold real estate. And certainly when you're starting out, and I think that as long as you're active, I think debt servicing is it's the name of the game. Some people will say doors, some people say cash flow, and cash flow is important. But that cash flow gets accounted for every month, and the vast majority of that is probably going to be debt servicing. Property taxes is I consider that debt. Mortgages debt. We finance almost all of our rehabs exclusively on credit cards, high interest debt. We use business credit cards, so we actually get typically 1 year free, interest free, and we exploit the hell out of that. Let me tell you. So we have 3 homes that we still have to rehab. Right now we cash flow positive, as long as everybody pays. Actually going to court in a couple of days to evict somebody. Hopefully they pay before then. Anyways, the way our cash flow and our debt servicing is working right now, we're about even. We probably at the end of the month, after we buy all our Amazon stuff and everything, it's probably $400 or $500 that we can put towards debt, on top of what we're already paying. Rent out this next house. We're probably looking at another $1,400 on top of that. Each house after that's going to be another $1,000 each, so that's another 2 grand. And we'll accumulate some debt, obviously, to during the rehab process. We're getting better and more efficient at this. Definitely using Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace to help keep down. We actually have some cash at the end of the month in the business account, so we're not having to put everything on credit cards. We can actually pay cash for front doors and stuff like that. That you can usually get a pretty good deal on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. We also have 2 homes that are going to be paid off this year. We're about supposed to have one paid off already this month. We had a $46,000 balloon payment, about 11 grand, maybe 12 grand shy of that. Maybe next month should hopefully be able to have that paid for. That's $1,000 a month mortgage payment going towards debt. We have another one that should be paid off April, maybe May, probably not. That's a $640 mortgage payment. Now can start to service debt. And it's kind of the Dave Ramsey effect. We could take that money and I could probably retire my wife now. But the smart thing to do, in my opinion, is we need to service down some of this debt. If the economy takes a dump and we lose 1 or 2 of our renters, we need to be in a position where we can still service our debt and it not hurt us financially. If say one of our A-class properties, they decide, they lose their job, they have to move out, we're not able to rent it for a month or two. I don't want to be in a situation where I just brought my wife home and now we're living off of rice and beans because we have too much debt and we're not able to service it. So it's kind of the Dave Ramsey snowball effect. If we can start putting 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 grand a month towards, the higher interest credit cards, within a year, maybe a year and a half, all that will be paid for. Start putting it towards the higher interest, lower balance loans. We have two with a private individual at 10%, at 10 years amortization, 5-year balloon. If you don't know what that is, you probably don't know much about mortgages. And, $39,000 on one, 40 on another. We start putting 4 or 5, 6 grand towards that every month. Starts knocking those down. Within a year, year and a half. Each one of those should be paid for, and you take those payments and start rolling it in. And then, we could either choose to retire my wife around that time, which is a year, 2 years, which she really wants to do. I kind of wanted to do the same, or we can start rolling it into other debt, or we can do a combination of both. So really, this is all about debt servicing. I've listened to many podcasts, read many a book, where the best advice that I think that I've gotten from people who survived the massacre in 07, 08 was live your life like it's all going to be gone tomorrow, that it's all going to crash. So if it crashed tomorrow, we'd be in pretty big trouble. But I think if we have a good year of servicing all this debt, getting it down, I told the wife we just have to sacrifice a little bit more, and trust us, we're not really sacrificing that much. That means instead of spending 10 grand on a vacation, we're going to spend 5. Um, I think we're going to be in a really, really good place. Get these 3 homes rented, acquire 2 more this year and get them rented. And I think that that's enough where she can come home. So if you have any questions about debt servicing, or, our strategy for debt servicing, I am not afraid to take on debt. I'm not afraid to take on deals and high interest loans, even as long as I can make money on the property. Anyways, put your comments below, and I hope you go out there and live the "you won't stop me" lifestyle. I can tell you this: you're not going to stop me. Financial freedom is just around the corner. Our freedom number, as Clayton Morris talks about it, we're approaching it slow and steady. So I wish you success.